up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome into Sunday Live. I'm your host of this fun and fancy-free program. My name is Mike, the Fantasy Hitman, Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTubers. I see all of you. I see you all. Welcome in. Thank you so much for jumping in. We're going to talk some news. We're going to talk some last-second strategies, some ins and outs. How am I going to approach certain things? We've already seen the game's kind of turned around for Jacksonville and Philadelphia. Carson Wentz coming through with a nice performance. Wide receivers are kind of taking a dump, but that's how it goes for fantasy football. Let's start right here with Andy G. He wants to know about Matt Breida or Colonel Mustard, Raheem Mostert. I don't know. I can't get that one right anymore because the Colonel Mustard has infected my brain. So we'll just call him the Colonel. So San Francisco running back situation. Matt Breida apparently is going to play. Bro, it's okay. It's okay to take a week off. Let your body rest. Just sit in a giant tub of ice cubes for an entire week. Just get healthy. At least they're talking about, I mean, he's still questionable, of course. They're talking about limited snaps for Matt Breida. So the question comes down, do I trust him? 0%. 2%. 2% is how much I trust Matt Breida. So the Colonel becomes, instead of being an awesome play, he was my asterisk. Man, I can't say that word either. I can't. I don't know what's going on here, baby Josh. It's these freaking London games, man. Waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I don't trust either, really. The Colonel, if I have to pick between the two of them, I'm going to play the Colonel, though. But you're talking high-end running back 3 with some upside, of course. Anthony wants to know Trey Burton and Njoku, or play one of those and carry on Johnson. Looks like Theo Riddick will be out yet again. The matchup is not as scary as it looks on paper for the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I'm playing Kerryon Johnson. I think that the breakout was real. I know people are worried about his upcoming matchups, but I think that they're going to overcome. I think Kerryon Johnson is going to continue to be that locked and loaded high-end running back 2 with some upside. Capped, of course, because Team LeGarrette Blount, got to get him those goal line carries. But he's great, and the run blocking for Detroit has been massively, massively upgraded. So I'm going to stick with Kerryon. So it becomes between Trey Burton and David Njoku for that last spot. Trey Burton is a little bit more interesting these days, of course, with the breakout performances, at least fantasy performances from Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know if he's actually playing good football. He's playing better for fantasy purposes. And Allen Robinson looks like he's not going to play. Chicago's number 1 wide receiver. I guess you have to say number 1 with a little bit of a wink because Allen Robinson has been pretty disappointing as well. So between the two of them, I'm going to go with David Njoku, though, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been absolutely on fire. And the absence of Allen Robinson is interesting for Burton, but I'm going to stick with Njoku. Touchdown machine. Flinks Fitness. All right, Flinks wants to know Chris Ivory or Colonel Mustard. And so I wanted to bring this up because the news for Shady McCoy, it is trending in a positive direction. If you are 100% relying on Chris Ivory, I think you're going to be in for a disappointment. He's going to get snaps because he has been getting snaps behind Shady McCoy. But Shady had the concussion, so this isn't an injury that will limit McCoy more than like a leg, where they got to rest him, they take him in and out. He's either active or he is not. Looks like he's going to be active, so I would pivot away from Chris Ivory if I could. Sean, Detroit Lions question here. Kenny Golladay so smooth. Kenny G. Or Kerryon Johnson. I think that Kerryon Johnson is the safer play. He's going to have the safer floor. Kenny Golladay could go 75 yards and 2 scores. I don't think Kerryon Johnson has 2 scores in his realistic range of outcomes. So it depends on what you're looking for. Personally, I would play Kerryon Johnson. I would take the 10 to 15 points and be happy about it. Democrat Donkeys wants to know, Gabriel or Allison? So if you haven't followed the news for the Green Bay Packers, it looks like Geronimo is going to be back. Looks like Randall Cobb still questionable. Baby Josh, that was a weird situation because Geronimo was limited all week in practice, yet he was off the injury report for the game. Randall Cobb was practicing in full, but was marked questionable for the game. You know what's questionable? These tactics, Green Bay. We don't appreciate it. We pay your salaries. You're owned by the city. Just give us the truth. I want the truth. So between Taylor Gabriel and Geronimo Allison, I'm going to play Geronimo. I'm going to play the guy with Aaron Rodgers. Taylor Gabriel had those 2 monster games, of course, but then he fell back to earth this past week. I like Geronimo Allison coming off the injury. Craig wants to know Sanders, Boyd, and Hilton. I guess I'm picking one. He did not specify. So this comes down to, do you want to play Emmanuel Sanders against the Kansas City Chiefs? Juicy. Or do you want to play T.Y. Hilton? Andrew Luck is back. Baby hands. Jack Doyle looks like he's going to be back as well, helping keep those chains moving. I know that it sounds funny that we're excited that Jack Doyle is back. I'm excited for the offense because Jack Doyle is just, I don't know, he gets it done. Absolutely. He's not explosive like Ebron, but he just gets it done, helps the offense as a whole. If I got to pick between Sanders and T.Y. Hilton, man, I like the matchup much more for T.Y. Hilton, even though the Chiefs are giving up a lot of points. But the Chiefs at home in the pass rush, it's coming together. So I have just a little bit of concerns for the Denver Broncos offense. And if I got to go between the two of them, I'm going to go with T.Y. Hilton. I think that he is safer. Sanders been crushing, absolutely been crushing, but I'm going to go with T.Y. Hilton. Jack wants to know, Doug Baldwin or Marvin Jones? Think about it while I take this drink of water. I needed a sip from my refreshing beverage. Doug Baldwin or Marvin Jones? You got to go with Doug Baldwin. Marvin Jones is who he is, and he is who he was last year. Wide receiver 3 that can skyrocket into a 1 any given week because the 50-yard touchdown pass works. Otherwise, you're getting 3 receptions for 40 yards. That's who Marvin Jones is. Doug Baldwin, still the number 1 target for Mr. Russell Wilson. In the matchup, should be avoiding the scary cornerbacks from Detroit, including Darius Slay. So I'm going to go with Doug Baldwin. Coming off, he got the bye week, rested up, had a 90-yard performance right before that. Come on. Got to go with Dougie B. That's why you got to be with Dougie B. Derek wants to know Colonel Mustard or Chris Thompson. Welcome back, Chris Thompson. Glad to have you. Washington running back. If I got to choose between those two guys, I'm going to go with Chris Thompson. I'm going to go with the upside over the matchup. Next question from Ben Caruso. Ben Caruso, Marlon Mack or Adrian Peterson in a full-point PPR. By the way, he called him AP. So I'm sure the trolls with their, you got to call him AD. That's his nickname. I don't like his initials. People can get out of here. I call him AP. I refuse to accept the moniker of AD. Book it. Marlon Mack or Adrian Peterson in a full-point PPR. Marlon Mack was looking so great. He was looking so great. The matchup is there. The game script is there. And then the ankle had to flare up in practice. He returned. They've said he's going to play. I'm going to take the risk here with Marlon Mack. Peterson against the Giants. They've been decently stout against the run. I think Chris Thompson's the better play out of the Washington backfield this week. And Marlon Mack has some juice. He's got some upside. Caden, it's week 8 when you're getting questions like, start Mostert or Jalen Richard in a half-point PPR. Oh, yeah. Injuries in the bye week. Stirring it up. Making things crazy in week 8. Colonel Mustard or Jalen Richard in a half-point PPR. I'm going to go with Jalen Richard. The game script for him should be very positive. I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but something like 6 or more receptions in the majority of games for Richard. Of course, Marshawn Lynch is out. You guys already know that. So that's where I'm going to go. Thomas wants to know Latavius over Shady McCoy. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Latavius, despite a solid fantasy output the past 2 weeks, has really only put together one good game that I have seen when I've reviewed Latavius Murray. Of course, that's not everything because he still came through with a big fantasy performance. It just happened to be on the 2 big runs. Shady McCoy is the volume play. Oh, I don't like the matchup for Latavius against the New Orleans Saints. Not that Shady McCoy versus the Patriots is any better. I'm going to play Latavius, though. Avoid just the small risk that LaShawn McCoy does not play. Latavius should give you some running back 2 numbers, goal line opportunities. I like Kirk Cousins in the Minnesota offense as a whole. So scoring opportunity goes up. Let's go. Let's take a ride. Let's take a ride with Latavius Murray. Brandon Zvi wants to know Kerryon or Nick Chubb. Wow. Excellent question, my friend. I'm going to go with Kerryon Johnson between the two. I like both of these guys this particular week. Nick Chubb is going to be the workhorse. Let's see what happens, though, when the game script gets a little dicey for the Pittsburgh or for the Cleveland Browns, of course, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers will be able to handle this one with Big Ben at home. So does it flip? Do we get a little bit more Duke Johnson in our lives? Maybe. But Nick Chubb, I mean, he is the Carlos Hyde role, the previous Carlos Hyde role, where if he's not getting you the touchdown, he's got more juice, more opportunity for touchdown, can actually break one. But if you're not going to get the touchdown, you're just going to get low-end RB2 numbers. Meanwhile, Kerryon Johnson's a solid play. Want to take this moment to thank everyone for joining the show, which is the Sunday Live. Thank you for supporting the Fantasy Footballers podcast. Really want to encourage you, check out jointhefoot.com. Help support the independent podcast. You get into a really cool community. Bonus perks like the 4-player start-sit tool, so you don't have to listen to me jibber-jabber here on a Sunday morning. Get the answer right from the rankings. An extra show every week. Really, really cool stuff. That's at jointhefoot.com. And, of course, Foot Clan, you know we need you to assemble. Hit up that footclanvote.com every single day. Don't leave the Periscope. Don't leave this live stream. Do it after. Go vote. Make sure you're voting every day. We need you for those iHeart Podcast awards. We want to take it down. We're only going to get there if you push us up. Josh Groban, I need you to raise me up. That was a weird analogy, but that's where we went. What are you going to do? Jack Smith wants to know Duke Johnson, Aaron Jones, or Anthony Miller. Oh, it's week 8 of fantasy football. Oh, that's a nasty one. Duke Johnson, Aaron Jones, or Anthony Miller. I'm going to play Anthony Miller. That with Allen Robinson down, let's get an uptick of targets for Anthony Miller. Meanwhile, Aaron Jones can't be trusted. He's the best running back on the team, but that doesn't really matter for fantasy purposes until Mike McCarthy removes head from buttocks and plays him. Got to go with Anthony Miller. K. Duckett, 14, wants to know start Trubisky or Big Ben. I'm playing Big Ben. He's at home. I know it was a rough outing, week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. Well, the turnovers, that's what was rough for Big Ben. The production was absolutely still there. Trubisky, I understand it's hard to sit him. He is on fire. He's been crushing, running all over the place, which that's that nice safe floor for fantasy quarterbacks because they get a point for every 10 yards. Why? I don't know, but these are the rules that we play with. I'm still going to play Big Ben, though. I'm still going to play Big Ben. Trubisky's – the ride will be over eventually. Maybe it's not this week, but I don't want to be holding that bag when the egg inside goes bad, because that's going to be a stinky egg. Tori Swan wants to know, Chris Thompson or Geronimo Allison, half-point PPR. So, in a half-point PPR, Geronimo Allison, when he has played the full game, of course, because the injury game, I mean, he's a 10-point guy. He's been getting it done. Chris Thompson, the ceiling for Chris Thompson is much higher. Geronimo Allison, I think, gives you a pretty solid floor. If it was my team, though, I would play Chris Thompson. I'd go after the ceiling. That's just how I play fantasy football. Go big or go home, right, baby Josh? Oh, the point of approval from baby Josh makes you feel good. Makes you feel like you're on the right track. What time is it? We're good. We're halfway through the show. Thank you for sticking around. Next question. Danny says, can I start Adrian Peterson, Doug Martin, Chris Thompson, Burita? Pick two. Well, here's the thing, Danny. When you say, can I start them? Yes. But then you said, pick two. Which one is it, Danny? Not a mind reader. Although, logically, it's probably just the pick two. So that's what I'm going to do for you, Danny. Pick two. Adrian Peterson, Doug Martin, Chris Thompson, Matt Breida. Breida is out. I don't think I want to play both Washington running backs. That means it's Krampus season. Krampus. Doug Martin is going to get touches. He's going to get work. Just don't watch it. Just put him in. Click. He's in there. Close your eyes. Don't watch. So between Chris Thompson and Adrian Peterson, I've said I like Chris Thompson a little bit more. Cody wants to know. Oh, Cody, you got me. Jason Moore or Jay Grizz in a full-point PPR. Never bet against a full-sized bear. I learned that one from Leo DiCaprio in The Revenant. He bet against the bear. It didn't go well. Sorry if I just spoiled that movie for you. Is Marlon Mack playing, says Mason? Yes. He sounds like he's going to play. Dawn wants to know, Geronimo Allison or Jordan Howard? So, Jordan Howard been incredibly disappointing with the emergence of Tariq Cohen. Geronimo Allison been disappointing when he's not playing. He's been awesome when he's on the field, though. I don't know if I want to just keep banging my head against the wall with Jordan Howard. And I know that Geronimo Allison has juice every single week. Feel like the air's just been let out of the tires for Jordan Howard, not getting it done. He's still getting a workload, but we're not seeing that production that we're used to with Jordan Howard, which is very strange. It's very strange. Jordan Howard is on the best offense that he has played in his entire NFL career. He's been a stud rusher. I mean, over 1,000 yards on the ground. And now that he's actually on a good team scoring points, we are getting squadoosh. Jordan Howard. Come on, man. Come on, get it done. I'm going to go with Geronimo Allison. I need to raise Allison up in my rankings the more I'm talking about him on this show. Thomas wants to know Kerryon Johnson or Philip Lindsay. That's real close. I might have Kerryon slightly higher, but I believe our consensus rankings has Philip Lindsay higher than Kerryon Johnson. I mean, no Royce Freeman. The Chiefs do give up points to the running back, and Philip Lindsay should be the guy. Man, it's going to be interesting to see just how much Devontae Booker that we have to endure. That's right, I said endure, because it's going to be painful when I have to watch Devontae Booker. But here we are, week 8. Good times, everybody. Justin wants to know, Goodwin or Shepard? Oh, no. Goodwin or Shepard? Shepard is safer. I'll say that with Goodwin, you're hoping for the bomb against Arizona, which it certainly could come unless Patrick Peterson is guarding Goodwin. Then you're in for a really long day. Oh, I'm gonna move from that question to an easy one. Paul says Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay, unless you want to take a 0. My man Brooks nods in approval for that one. Yes! That question I cannot possibly get wrong unless he's one reception and fumbles and leaves the game. That's the only way. I like those questions. Moving on. No Alias says, are there any Eagles fans on here? Probably. I'm not an Eagles fan because they made me wake up at 5:30 in the morning. If you can't tell from the circles underneath my eyes. Look like I'm wearing a superhero mask. It's ridiculous. Bernie wants to know Jalen Richard or Matt Breida. If I have anyone with a fully functional body at the running back position, I'm going to play them over Matt Breida. Scratch that. Because I don't know if I'll play Devontae Booker over Matt Breida. I can't honestly tell you I would do that. But Jalen Richard, he'll catch 5 or more passes, so I'm going to play him over. What are they doing? At what point do you look in the mirror if you're the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, seeing Matt Breida leave the field, 3 or 4 times now with what looks like a season-ending injury, and say, yeah, I should let that guy play again next week. Give him a week off. Ridiculous. Terry Daniels wants to know Kerryon Johnson or Marlon Mack. Ooh, that one's very tough as well. Those guys are extremely close in the rankings. Marlon Mack has the touchdown upside, so that's the way I would go. Kerryon is probably safer. Next question. Oh, another one I like to get. Baldwin or Robinson, says Lee. Woo-hoo. You're going to play Doug Baldwin. Anthony wants to know John Brown or Geronimo Allison in the flex, non-PPR. I know Jason is concerned about the output of the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. I share some of those concerns as well. But John Brown has been amazing. This is a non-PPR, so I mean you want touchdown. You don't care about reception volume as much between these two guys. You're going for the touchdown, and John Brown is been getting it done. Next question, looking for one. Oh goodness, hey Brooks, we're sure Marlon Mack is playing. Someone just said something about Marlon Mack being out. We're double checking that. All of our sources have said Marlon Mack is going to play. Yeah, which being Adam Schefter. Sorry, who we got? Joe Boy. If that is your real name, I'm going to trust Adam Schefter. Yes. All right. Yo, we're good. Remove all that panic. Get out of here. Stop spreading the FUD in my live stream, bro. This is a positive place of positivity. Corey wants to know Drew Brees or Jared Goff. It's Jared Goff, man. Drew Brees, good. Jared Goff, optimal situation for Jared Goff. Well, if Cooper Kupp was out there, it would be a super optimal situation. But I'm not going to let the absence of Cooper Kupp bring me down on my love for Jared Goff this week. He's my number 3 quarterback for this week. So that's the way I'm going to go. Adrian Peterson or Nick Chubb. In that scenario, I will play Nick Chubb over Adrian Peterson. I want the volume of the guaranteed volume, I think, for Nick Chubb. With Chris Thompson back, Adrian Peterson he'll take more breathers than he wants to. Next question. Adrian wants to know Chris Thompson or Jalen Richard. I will take Chris Thompson in that one. Jess, be healthy, RD. that one got me. Peterson, Murray, or Kerryon Johnson. between those three, I'm going to stay in the Flames with Kerryon Johnson. Like I said, he's been so consistent, even without the super explosive games or that explosive run that last week. If you want to play the game, which I frequently do, of, hey, without that one play, you would have been garbage. But Kerryon Johnson, without that one play, he still would have been really good. I like Kerryon a lot. Juan wants to know Ingram or Jordan Reed. Man, both of those guys have been disappointing. Ingram hasn't given you as many opportunities to be disappointed. Oh, I'm going to play Ingram. If I had both of them on my team, I would play Ingram. Next question. Razor Jamone. Not bad. Colonel Mustard or Chris Ivory in a half-point PPR. I think that Colonel Mustard will get more work than Chris Ivory because I'm projecting that Shady McCoy will be playing. Colonel Mustard has a much, much better matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So if Colonel Mustard sees 12 touches in this game against Arizona, you're going to be happy that you started him. And I think there's a very good chance that he hits that 12 mark or more. Kevin wants to know Big Ben or Jameis Winston. I'm going to play Big Ben. Those guys are very, very close. I think they're literally back-to-back, number 6 and 7 in my rankings. Before we jump into the rapid round, just a real quick reminder, check out jointhefoot.com. Help support the show. Get cool fantasy footballer stuff. Check it out. If you're going to play some DFS, the Ultimate DFS Pass, the price has been slashed. Go check that out. There's still tons of time to play some DFS. And, of course, FootClanVote.com. FootClan Assemble, we need you. Let's get into the rapid round. We just have a couple more minutes left. We need like rapid round music. Like some super, like Mario music where it just speeds up and gives me just a heart attack and I shoot into full body anxiety. Here we go. Cy wants to know Crabtree or Geronimo in a half-point PPR. I will take Geronimo. Derek, Andy Dalton, or Jared Goff. I'm going to take Jared Goff. People tuning in who have never heard that. What is wrong with that man? Brandon, Emmitt Smith or O.J. Simpson. I'll take the league's leading rusher in Emmitt Smith. Why are you asking me that? Andrew, Crowell or McCoy? Man, I'll just play Crowell. Get that volume from with Bilal Powell being out. Christian McCaffrey or Baldwin from full-time. Man, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey, even with the tough matchup. He should catch a good amount of passes this week. Brian, Chris Carson or Marlon Mack? I will go with I almost said Chris Carson. Strike that, reverse it, go back. I'm going to play Marlon Mack over Chris Carson. Ingram or Chubb? I will play Nick Chubb. I'm making that decision in my league of record. I have to play one of those two guys. I went with Nick Chubb. So if you want to ride with me, let's get Nick Chubb in there. Andrew Luck or Big Ben? I have Andrew Luck slightly higher than Big Ben in my rankings. You probably want to make a move, Mr. Gregory, because you could possibly get something, and you don't need to ride two high-level quarterbacks like that. Unless you want to. Whatever. It's your team. Chris, a follow-up from the DFS podcast. How do I feel about Colonel Mustard in DFS cash games? Cash, not nearly as safe, but like I said on that pod, Crowell, Colonel Mustard, you're getting some heavy hitters in your lineup with those savings. Kodak, Doug Martin, or smooth routes, Kenny G. Don't do it to yourself, Kodak. Just play Kenny G. I don't care if the results pan out that Doug Martin was the better play. Just don't do it to yourself. You'll be sad. Jared Cook, Manuel wants to know, Jared Cook or Jimmy Graham? I got Jared Cook higher in my rankings. Hopefully gets those uptick in targets. Am I concerned about the Chicago defense without Khalil Mack? No, because I think they were good before that. Obviously, it's a hit to the defense, but no, I'm still good with them. Gronk or Vance? This is a question of do you pivot away from Gronk with the surprise inactive or just play Vance McDonald. He's trending towards playing. He's going to be there. I'm banking on him. I'm going to play Gronk. Where I have Gronk, which is a lot of places, I just said I'm picking up Charles Clay. And if Gronk actually sits out, I'll take my 2 points from Charles Clay, and I will like it. I won't like it. I'll be very disappointed if Gronk doesn't play. So that was not a true statement. Josh Gordon or John Brown? Slightly in favor of Josh Gordon. Last question. HKM for life wants to know James Conner or Phillip Lindsay. Come on now. Get those James Conner points while you can. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for Sunday Live. If you made it to the end, congratulations. Your award is in the mail. Check everything out. JoinTheFoot.com, FootClanVote.com. Lots of .coms. Fantasy Footballers Podcast. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please don't ever forget, you're beautiful. Mwah. Double up. Mwah. Goodbye.